Decentralized finance is not just some magical money printer. There are massive risks. And if you don't know what you're doing, then yeah, you can wipe yourself out within seconds. Oh, and decentralized finance is not for everyone. You certainly do not have to participate. In fact, if you want, you can actually just wait. You can wait until all of the banks and all of the financial institutions are doing it in the background on your behalf, so that when you give them your money, they'll go ahead and give you a little tiny little piece of a kickback for all the yield that they're generating using DeFi. As it is today, that is where we're headed. And if you want to wait, that's totally fine. But just to be clear, this is what the institutions are already doing, right? They're already buying up Ethereum. They're already out here requesting from the SEC that they can allow staking in their ETFs. And regulators all over the world are keeping people out. I've had personal conversations with people from different countries around the world that are telling me how hard it is to get access to the crypto that they want because the centralized exchanges are not allowing them to get access to these cryptos. And the regulators are preventing people from being able to use certain types of products in the crypto space. I mean, look at a platform like Nexo. If you've been around, you know about Nexo. In the United States, they took that away from us. Meanwhile, everyone else has been generating yield on their assets for years. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have regulation. Regulation can be fantastic. And in fact, it can provide guardrails that keep a lot of people safe. But we have to keep in mind that these same regulators around the world that are trying to prevent people from using crypto and getting access to it on centralized exchanges are the same regulators, like in the United States with the SEC, for instance, who tells people that you must have a net worth of $1 million before you can even invest in private market opportunities, which is where all of the wealth gets created. The power of decentralized finance is that while we have regulations and we have regulators that are doing their best to provide guardrails around all of crypto, we have a space where they really can't do anything about it right now. There are massive risks in DeFi and in crypto in general. This is a completely new space, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can make massive, massive errors that take away everything that you've worked so hard for. I agree. But what's happening with decentralized finance is we have this entire market worth over $100 billion that regulators can't really touch for now. And anyone, you and I, can get access to opportunities that would otherwise only be available on Wall Street. Oh, the best time to participate in DeFi is in a bear market. I totally understand that, and I don't disagree with you. At the same time, are you saying that people shouldn't know about high yield savings accounts because the stock market is ripping higher? Yes, DeFi is risky, and we're about to break down all of these risks, but that is exactly why I've created my program, so that people can learn step by step how this stuff works and make sure that if you're going to participate in it, you do it right, and to make sure that people know that this is actually an option. Decentralized finance is a tool that you put in your toolkit, and when you learn how to use it, you can do things with your money that, quite frankly, have never been possible before. Now let's talk about the risks. The first is smart contract risk. Decentralized finance is happening natively on blockchains. The way that blockchains are able to create these types of transactions and opportunities is through what are called smart contracts, which enable logic on the blockchain. These smart contracts create the rules that govern the transactions and interactions that you're having in decentralized finance. So for instance, when you make a swap on a decentralized exchange, you're interacting with a smart contract to facilitate that swap. These smart contracts can have bugs and they can be exploited, where the money or the value that is in a smart contract could be essentially siphoned away. One small error in code can be responsible for wiping out millions and in some cases even billions of dollars. There is an entire industry that has been developed to address this, and they are called smart contract auditors. These auditors go in and audit the code of different smart contracts before they get released. And then after they release, they also continue to monitor any risk that could be in the system. The thing about these smart contracts as well is that it's all open code. So anyone in the world can try to figure out ways to create vulnerabilities or to find them in the code as they exist. This is probably one of the biggest risks in all of decentralized finance. And this is exactly why I only use protocols that have been around for a very long time and that work with the top tier auditors in the space. The second biggest risk, and this one trips up a lot of beginners, is impermanent loss. And this trips people up because you might see some liquidity pool that you can stake into that's earning like 350% APY. And that just looks amazing, right? Well, there's some things to consider. When you're staking into a liquidity pool, usually there's going to be two different assets that you're putting into that pool. One could be a stable asset like USDC, and the other one could be something that's volatile like Unicorn token go up. And Unicorn token can go up. And when you deposit into a liquidity pool, that liquidity pool automatically rebalances as volatile assets move up and down. And so in certain cases, you could actually be better off just holding your crypto versus putting it into a liquidity pool, even if that liquidity pool is making 350% APY. The impermanent loss comes from when you take your tokens back out of that liquidity pool and they've been rebalanced in a way that actually doesn't help you keep up with the asset that went up when you could have just held that asset instead of having this AMM, automated market maker, rebalance on your behalf. And yes, this stuff can get really complicated. And once again, that's why I've created my program, and I've created a free training that goes over this stuff. You can click the link in the description to get access to that and join the waitlist for my program. Another one of the biggest risks in DeFi is called Oracle risk. Most DeFi applications will use some sort of a price feed, where essentially a smart contract is actually importing data from somewhere else to be able to use in that smart contract. If that data about the price of an asset, for instance, gets manipulated or is just wrong, then you can have catastrophic effects. Another big risk is that cryptocurrency is extremely volatile, and this can change the economics of different systems really fast. And on top of that, in DeFi, sometimes you might be utilizing a leveraged product or doing something that requires some sort of leverage where you could get your assets liquidated. And liquidations in decentralized finance happen automatically because you're using smart contracts. So if there isn't some mechanism built into the smart contract that allows some sort of a grace period for you to be able to provide more liquidity before your assets are liquidated, then you might not have any backstop when things get rough. On top of that, there are straight up rug pulls and scams. There are protocols out there that will take your money into deposit and immediately it's just gone. Or they'll even put on some facade of how they're building some amazing project and how they're going to have a fair launch for their token down the line. And all of a sudden, it just blows up for whatever reason. Rug pulls are real and billions get stolen this way. Another one of the biggest risks is bridge risks. Now let's talk about this because someone brought up the fact that Ethereum has really high fees. And I totally agree. And in fact, the fees on Ethereum can make DeFi uneconomical, where maybe you have to pay a fee to deposit your assets into some lending pool, for instance, and then you have to pay to get it out. And depending upon what the fees are when you're having to do these transactions, that could be an uneconomical transaction. This is why people use scalability solutions on Ethereum, for instance, like layer 2s such as Arbitrum, Optimism, or Basechain. Now, to get your assets over to these layer 2s, you're going to have to use what's called a bridge. And bridges are one of the most hacked points in all of crypto. Billions have been lost on bridges as well. And hackers know that this is a great place to go and find exploits. So yeah, decentralized finance is extremely powerful, but there are a lot of risks. So these are just a few of the big risks that come with utilizing decentralized finance protocols. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you can very easily get burned. And yes, we are in the middle of a bull run. And quite frankly, it could be over in the next 3 to 6 months. And that means that right now, going right into the end of the bull run is not the best time to go full portfolio into DeFi. And that's not what I'm recommending. But instead, what I'm recommending is that you start learning about how this stuff works now. Because the best time to get into this, yes, is in the middle of the bear market. And that might be right around the corner. And for people who are looking to hold a certain percentage of their assets for the long term anyways, then it's not a bad idea to also find a way to generate yield on those assets while they're sitting there. And I'm not saying, once again, that you even need to put all of the assets that you're holding for the long term into DeFi. All I'm saying is that this is a tool to add to your toolkit so that you can continue to increase the overall growth of your wealth. So let me be super clear. DeFi is best for people who are looking at the long-term opportunity of cryptocurrency and want to put certain percentages of their assets to work, whether or not we're in a bull or bear market. You have to know how to evaluate which protocols are worth using, which liquidity pools are worth staking into, and looking at What are the different risks that you're involving yourself with and where it may or may not be worth it? This is exactly why I created my program, to walk you through the process step by step. In the description below, there's a link to the waitlist for my program, where you're also going to get access to a free training breaking down even more in depth a lot of the stuff that I just went over. This isn't about getting rich. This isn't about, someone said, making a lot of money. No, this is about having a strategy to continue to grow your long-term wealth and creating passive flows of income from your crypto. Someone asked, why would I risk 100% to make 3%? And there's a little bit to unpack there, because when it comes to crypto, this actually matters a lot, because crypto assets can be finite. And so therefore, if you lose your crypto to some hack or whatever, then that crypto could just be gone forever. But first off, you don't need to put all of your assets into DeFi in order to take advantage of these opportunities. And second, why do you leave your money in a bank? They're taking that money and they're creating 10 times leverage on it, and you have no visibility into that process. At least with DeFi, you can do the due diligence. You can see and audit what's going on. When you buy a stock, you're risking 100% of that money to make 3 to 8%. But once again, you're not earning money in the stock. I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding around this. In crypto, you're earning on the asset that you're generating a yield on. So once again, 1 ETH at 3% is 1.03 ETH. And if you believe in the future of the space and the growth of these assets, then you recognize that that 3% that you're talking about is not 3%. It's that 3% on top of whatever compound annual growth you're getting from the underlying asset. If that's clicking for you, let me know in the comments. And if you still don't believe that that's a good proposition to put some of your assets to work, let me know in the comments. If you're serious about learning DeFi the right way, then click the link in the description. This will take you to the waitlist for my program, and you'll get access to a free training that will show you how you can use decentralized finance to start generating passive income within 7 days. I'm Keith D, and I'm here to talk about everything money and markets. And the truth is, what's happening with DeFi is the new financial system. Ask BlackRock. Ask these other financial institutions and ETF providers that are literally begging the SEC to allow them to offer staking in their products. If you got anything out of this, let me know in the comments, like and subscribe for more. See you next time.